In this video, I'm going to cover exactly what to do with lazy models and how you can overcome this problem so your agency can start thriving. And who am I to talk about this? Well, I'm Money Mace, just a 6-figure month OnlyFans management agency owner and co-owner of OF Money, the best private group and course in the game where you can learn exactly how to develop your OFM skills and actually start scaling your agency. So let's dive right into the problem. Lazy models. The first thing you need to understand is why. You need to understand what is the objection to her doing this work. Why is she a lazy model? And then we can progress on to what you're going to be able to do about this in order so that you can actually start thriving. So what do I mean about find the objection? Well, you need to work out what is holding her back from actually just physically picking up the video and recording herself making this content or taking the photos, because it's actually quite a simple action. And when I break it down like that, of how simple it is, there's something that is getting in the way of that simplicity, stopping her from being able to just go ahead and do it. So here's about 5 issues that might be the cause of this laziness. And the 5th one is your responsibility, so you need to hear this one out. So does she have family or personal issues that you don't quite know about? Is it just straight plain laziness? Does she not have the time to make the content that you're asking her to do? Or does she plainly just not have any respect for you or your agency or what you're trying to do for her? And the last one, does she not have a sense of direction, which is causing her to be a bit confused about what it is that she needs to do? And if that is the case, then that's your problem, and that's what we're going to come here and solve. So it's at this point here, once you've discovered that you've got a lazy model, and it might be for one of the previous reasons I've just stated, that you now need to take responsibility and you have to do something about it. Because if you don't, you're not going to get any content, you're not going to be able to distribute any content up to our OnlyFans, onto our social medias, and you're going to be left with your dick in your hand, not being able to make any cash, right? And we don't want to be in that situation. So here's how you can resolve it. So I would say, if you are the OnlyFans manager and potentially maybe you've got a group chat set up with you, the model and your partner, or some sort of setup like this with the model manager, go ahead and message her personally, directly, right? And what this is going to do is this is going to break down that professional barrier so you can come on a more caring tone to try and understand her thoughts and feelings at a much deeper level. You know, you want to message her and come on a more endearing tone. You want to ask her, hey, Vanessa, what's up? How come we haven't got the content this week? You know, is everything okay? I just wanted to personally check in and make sure that all's okay and that we're doing everything on our behalf in order to make things as easy as possible for yourself. You know, if there is an issue, please let me know so we can resolve this and get into the action that's going to start scaling up your account again. So from this simple message here, she might go ahead and blurt out what the problem was. You know, she might say, look, I'm not going to lie, I had a really close family member to me die recently and it's completely thrown me off with work. You know, in this situation, you have to be caring. Right? Females aren't that logical, emotionless creatures where they're just going to be like, oh, a family member died, I'm just going to hustle down with work now to, you know, just get on with things. They're going to take some time for bereavement, especially if it's that scenario which I just explained before. Any normal human being is going to have to take some time out of the game and, you know, come to terms with their emotions before getting back to work. So if that's the case, then you know that you're going to have to take a little time out and do some of the other solutions which I'm going to present to you later in this video in order to deal with that and sort of circumvent this problem. However, you're also going to be able to weed out if it's bullshit. You know, if you've messaged her now personally and she starts giving you, you know, oh, I had to do X, I had to do Y to Z, I had this commitment, then, you know, it might be a routine issue, or if it might just be a plain laziness issue and she's just spitting out these excuses. And now you can start getting to the root of the problem. This is the main solution. You have to ask her directly what the problem is. You need her to open up and tell you so that you can get to the solution. Because otherwise, if you don't know, then you're going to start trying to strategize, hypothesize, or, you know, start trying to build out solutions to problems that you don't even know exist yet. You know, it might be the simple fact that she's had, you know, someone close to her die, or it might be the fact that, you know, she has had a crazy routine, or it might be the fact that she's had to take on some more overtime at work. It might be the fact that there's all these reasons, right? But you don't know yet. You need her to open up and tell you. And so if a simple message doesn't work and she's not even going to go ahead and reply to your message, then you need to maybe get her on the phone. You know, try and set up a phone call, you know, and if you need to, you know, maybe a week passes or even like a few days passes, go ahead and just call out the blue and just be like, hey, look, I was literally just worried for you. I just wanted to check in and make sure all is okay. What's up? What's the problem? You know, and so when you come on this tone, you as the manager need to be caring and endearing and emotional in order so that she can understand that you're not just this, you know, demon manager that is just trying to get cash out of her, right? Because that's really not even why we're here in the first place anyway. You know, any normal manager that I know is in the game also cares for their models, because if they're happy, then they're also going to be making content, and then we're going to be happy because we're also going to be able to manage the OnlyFans and actually scale it up. Our whole intention. You know, so the next thing that you can do if she isn't messaging you is jump on the phone. And again, you know, what you might do after this phone call is, you know, now you can start working or getting into the deeper problem as to why she's maybe not working as hard and being able to keep up with the content schedules. You know, so it might now be a problem of routine issue. So now while you're on the phone, you might say, okay, great, like that's perfect to hear, because now I can start working through what is your current routine, where can we slot in time to fit in the OnlyFans work, and so that we can actually do our job and help you make the cash that you want to make. Another thing you might do then is set up a cool schedule, so that you'll set up a time that each week you actually jump on the phone, whether that's at the end of the week or at the start of the week. I would recommend either or, probably at the start of the week, so you can hype them up, you can gas them up, you can take them through the content as well. Like I say in the first part of this video, if she's got a direction issue, then at the start of the week you can jump on a video call with her and take her through the content that she is needed to do. So like there is no excuse for her. What you're trying to do at this stage is really take away all the objections, your objection handling, the laziness. And so you need to do that in every way possible in order to achieve obviously the outcome of her being able to work. So this is the huge one. You then need to reframe and re-encourage her. So if, for example, it is just a laziness problem, maybe she has got a little bit lackluster with the content, she's not keeping up to scratch with it, she's not doing it to a high standard, you need to explain to her the impact this is going to have on her account. And not only the impact this is going to have on her account on the short term, but also the long term. You know, OnlyFans takes time to build up. It's a more competitive environment than ever. If she's just going to half-ass her content, there's no way as a manager you're going to be able to find content ideas, you know, actually scale up her account, because she's not going to have the subscriber flow from the social media content. Then they're not going to have nothing to sell to the fans because the people have bought everything on the account. You need to just actually, you know, objectively break this down to her so that she understands, so that she knows she's in full awareness of the issues that is going to come around if she doesn't do this content. And so this is a huge one. You need to find the underlying motivation which is going to enable her to work. We do this with our models. Before they even come on board now, we'll send them a type forms. On there's a list of questions, you know, what are your goals? What do you want to make with OnlyFans? What's your end goal? And what are your motivations? Now a little manifestation section, you know, what car do you see yourself driving in the future? What does your ideal life look like? And now you can start turning around to her when she's in times of laziness and just say like, look, you're never going to be driving that Lamborghini Huracan if you're not even going to take 10 selfies for the stories this week, right? And then she'll be like, oh, yeah, of course. But you need to start understanding what can she attach, you know, like an end goal to, so you can use that in the motivation and use it as some leverage when you're trying to speak to her on the phone. That one's huge. And I literally just, I'm going to touch it. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but you guys get the picture with that one. You might want to implement it. Right, so after maybe now you've got on the phone, you found out what the problem is, you've started building towards a solution, you then might want to add in regular check-ins, because in all honesty, it's probably only a matter of time until this happens again, or until she gets lazy again. So you now, like I say, you might want to do weekly check-ins, you might want to do daily check-ins in the mornings, but do check-ins based on that schedule you just built. You know, a couple points back when I said about building that schedule with what works for her. Maybe she doesn't want to do Wednesdays and Thursdays, but Friday, Saturday, she's really up for working. So, you know, every Friday and Saturday, you're going to check in with her and make sure that she's hyped up and ready to go. That way you're going to get the most out of her each week, each month, and you're going to actually be able to scale her account. Right, and so these are some other things that you can combat lazy models with. Is, you know, you can use AI. However, if you're going to use AI, make sure that the model is aware. Maybe you're going to say to her, look, we are now going to take a higher percentage. We're going to be able to scale up your OnlyFans, but this is all the extra work we're going to have to do because you're not even doing the basic work, right? Because you don't want to be out of pocket with investing in AI softwares, with doing the manual labor, all for her just to be lazy, and then she's going to be reaping the rewards of your hard work. So you can look at using softwares like AI. We actually implement it with our agency, but we've got it all systemized and automated to the point now it's just more of a traffic boost, even to our working models. It works even better with working models because now we can double, triple the output. However, with non-working models, you need like even the most basic reels, you know, pictures in order to actually use these softwares. Another thing what you can look into is maybe you want to switch up your traffic sources. You know, if you want to try and get like 100 reels out of her per week for all of your accounts, you want to get all these Reddit pictures, you want to get some Twitter images, you want to get some TikTok lives, maybe you just want to reduce this down. You know, start with some simple Reddit pictures. So only got to make a batch content of X amount of images, because then you can spoof them and reuse them. So there's ways you can play the game a little better to ensure that you can still at least get some out of your model. Right, and now I'm on to the final point. And this one is, again, is huge. I know every single point in here I've said is huge, but this one is actually the Don Dada, right? The final resort you have, if your model is still being lazy, after you've gone through every step I've already said in this video, is go ahead and threaten to end things. And now you might actually, when I get on to the next point, is you might actually go ahead and end things, right? Because if she isn't simply doing any of the work, how can you possibly scale up her account? You're going to be wasting your time over and over again when you could have simply put time into outreach, got a new model that respects you, got a new model that works hard, and scaled her account tenfold to what you're ever going to be able to do with this model. So you might want to send her a simple message and say, like, look, it's been a couple of weeks now. We've given you the time, we've given you the resources, we've given you all of our efforts, we've done what we can on our end, we've said we're here for you where we need to be, and we've tried to make things as simple as possible, right? So you've removed every objection now, and you're still not doing the work, so now it's down to plain laziness and no respect. We're going to have no choice but to stop working together. Please let us know your thoughts, or if this is going to change in the next 24 hours. Right? So either you're going to get a batch of content tomorrow, or she's out the door tomorrow. And don't hold any grudge to it, because you'd have been better off without her anyway. So let's round it all off. How to deal with lazy models. You need to first find and understand the objection, the why. Why is she being lazy? Why is she not doing the content? 2, you then need to work through that problem with her amicably. 3, you then might want to set up her schedule or a regular check-in to ensure that this problem doesn't happen again. You know, you've just solved it. You don't want it coming up again week and the week after. So let's make sure that we're on top of things. 4, you can use AI and different softwares and different traffic sources in order to combat this. But at the end of the day, you want to be working with a hard-working model that respects your time and your work as well. Number 5, the final thing that you can do, right, if all else fails, is just drop her. Cut your losses and move on. And like I say, as always, it's been Money Mace. I hope you've taken some value from this video on different ways that you can combat your lazy model. Even if I've just briefly brushed over them, hopefully you can implement some of the value I've given here today. And look, if you want to contact me directly on how I can help your agency scale up tenfold, getting access to my systems, information and education, then just hit the links down below. You can join my Telegram and message me personally, or go ahead and book in a call directly with myself, and I'll just explain how we can help, how I've been able to take my agency from 0 all the way up to multi-6 figures a month. So as always, it's been Money Mace. I'll see you in the next video.